This podcast is sponsored by slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com, naturalbossnh.com, and New Hampshire Vape Gallery. More on that later. Let's get into episode 46 of Talking with Topher. What is happening, everybody? It is so good to be back. It is, February 15th, Monday afternoon, and we're getting ready for some snow here in New England. It has been going across the country, and it has been crazy. Texas doesn't know what to do with it, but we're ready here. You know, we probably don't have too much room to put it. I definitely have lost a lot of space to put some snow, but definitely getting ready for it. But let's get into it. I want to say thank you to everybody for subscribing, watching, spreading the word, commenting, anything that you're doing to help the growth of this podcast. I just appreciate it very much. If you're new to the podcast, then please subscribe. Hit those like buttons if you're enjoying the video, and don't forget to set the alarm so that you know as soon as the new episode uploads every week. That's right, I'm doing it every week. You can also find me on all social media: Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So go to any one of those 5 platforms or go to all of them. Give the follow. Doing daily updates there. Always new things going on. And if you want some more content, that's where to find it. Just follow me on Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. We've also got the email. That's right. The official email of Talking with Topher is talkingwithtopher@gmail.com. That's TALKIN with Topher@gmail.com. You can send your stories. Maybe there's somebody you know who has a story and it just needs to be heard. You can send that over, put that in the subject line. Maybe you started something new. It doesn't really matter what you want to talk about. If you want to talk about something, send it to the email. Put whatever you're talking about in the subject line, and then we're going to talk about it. It'll be a grand old time. Been trying to get this started for a couple months now, and like everything, it takes time, and I need your help to do it. So send it on over to TALKIN with Topher@gmail.com. That's talkingwithtopher@gmail.com, the official email of this podcast. And now that all the housework is done, let's get into it. I found out Thursday that, I'm not quite as healthy or in shape or any of that stuff that I thought I was. So, I've been throwing around the kettlebells for about 3-4 weeks now, feeling pretty good about that. I'm feeling, some strength in my lower back that I didn't have before, and it's due to the exercises, of course. And I'm seeing some muscles pop up. I was getting excited. I'm 41, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. I had a really good class Wednesday morning, got some moves in, and I was feeling really strong, and I was feeling, real good. You know what I mean? You just have those days where you're like, yeah, I think I could take on anybody right now. And I felt that way. And I felt that way when I woke up Thursday morning. But then I went to PMA Plaistow, and there is a gentleman in there, and his name's CJ. And this kid is an animal. He's an animal with a wrestling background, and he's only 19. So we slap hands, we go at it, and I don't know if you've ever wrestled. I haven't. I've fucked around with wrestling, but I've never wrestled. And the drive that these guys have is insane. And I know girls wrestle too, but I don't know any girls that wrestle, so I apologize for that. But he just has this drive about him. Just go, 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 go. So I'm trying to do whatever I can try to get on top, try to get him back in my guard, trying to do anything I can. And he's just got this constant drive. And I will tell you, at the end of 10 minutes, I did not feel the same way I felt Wednesday or Thursday morning before I stepped into class. I felt my age. I felt like I needed to work on a lot more. And he really just kind of put me in my place. He's, I think he's a 2nd degree blue belt now. And that it doesn't matter because it doesn't. The ranks do matter, of course, but at the same time, they don't mean everything. And I think that's what I'm getting at. They don't mean everything. They'll give you respect while you're on the mat to anybody who's under you, but I mean, people under you can still tap you out. I always tend to forget that I'm in there training with people who are training. So if this person, or even CJ at this point in time that I'm talking about, if he's going to class 4 to 5 times a week, I don't know if he is or not, but if he does, well, then he's got 2 more classes on top of me. He's also doing Muay Thai. He's got all kinds of stuff going on. So he's training a lot. He also wants to be a fighter. So that's super important to him. So this is his drive, and that is what he works on. I don't have that, but I'm feeling fit. I'm feeling healthy. I was feeling strong, for a 41-year-old, mind you. And it was just so, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but I was thankful that it had happened like that it went down like that. He tapped me a couple times, and he just kept me working. I had to work for everything that I was going for because he just wouldn't stop driving into me, and it just made me realize, I'm doing good for my age, but don't get too cocky because a 19-year-old will tap you out. You start feeling too relaxed, and you're like, I'm doing good. I'm a purple belt. Yeah, well, he tied me up. He choked me out, and he got past everything I was throwing at him. So I really thanked him for that. I'm not mad. I'm not angry. It just put things in perspective for me and made me realize that I need to work even harder because there's people that are younger and stronger than me. And when we're clapping hands and going at it, he's trying to take me out like I'm trying to take him out. And he might be on the upper level, working out all the time and having a different drive than I do. So it really put it in perspective for me. And I just wanted to talk about that because I was like, man, I'm doing good. I'm throwing kettlebells around. I'm feeling strong. And then, bam. Nah, 19-year-old just puts you in your place. So that's the nice thing about jiu-jitsu. I love that. That makes me smile more than anything because it's not this long, drawn-out way to find out, what your strength and weakness is. It doesn't take time like a job does, or you have to prove you're literally proving what's going on within 5 minutes. And it's sometimes less than that. And it was just a nice realization, and it just put everything in perspective for me. So that's what I went through on Thursday, got to feel my age. Yeah, so, and I'm talking about all this because I was asked where I get, my self-motivation, and I don't know. I don't know where I get it. My friends have pointed out that I've replaced drinking with jiu-jitsu, which I can definitely attest to and agree with. But my self-motivation is just my drive to do better. I've been a complete, absolute loser for 27 years of my life, and I have I haven't even hit it yet. I mean, I'm barely 4.5 years in on this no alcohol, and I just want to do better. That's where I get self-motivation. Self-motivation is so important. Nobody is ever going to motivate you. You know, you might get motivation from videos and people out there working at it and getting it done. That'll give you more of an inspiration to maybe get motivated, but the motivation comes from within. You know, I've had plenty of times, and I've never sat down and, like, you know, taken longer than maybe 15, 20 minutes, but I've woken up in the morning, gone downstairs, you know, pulled out the mats, gotten the treadmill all set because I have to set it and reset it every time I want to use it because it's in my living room, so I can't just leave it open and out all the time, otherwise it drives me nuts. But I have to set everything up, and then I set it all up, and then my dog's like laying on the couch, and I'll be honest, I've just been like, oh shit, I don't want to do this. And then I lay on the couch with my dog, and then I've woken up 15, 20 minutes later, and then I do my workout. You know, so we all have these things that get in our way that stop us from doing what we know we should be doing because we don't want to. And you have to learn how to fight that. And, you know, sometimes I give in. I'll be honest. I give in, but I don't let it win. Like, I'll give in, but then 15 minutes later, I'm like, no. I'm going to go run. I'm going to swing the kettlebell, and then I'm going to work. You know, everything changes from day to day depending if I'm working or if I'm staying home. Or if I have a jiu-jitsu class, I'll do all my workouts a little bit different depending on what the day has in store for me. But that motivation to get going, to motivation to get on the treadmill, I feel I get it from feeling like disappointed in myself. If I'm sitting there wasting time and I've got so many things to get done before I have to go to class, before I have to go to work, and that time starts ticking and I'm watching it, I'm just looking at it going, why aren't we on the treadmill yet? Why am I still sitting here doing nothing, watching the clock tick instead of getting on that treadmill? And then I'll get up and I'll get on the treadmill because that's what I do first. I always do my run and then I swing the kettlebells. I mean, it's probably the way you should do it anyways. Get your cardio up, get your heart rate, get your heart rate up, and then jump into weights. But that's where I get it from. I get it from feeling disappointed in myself. And that's where a lot of my anger comes from, because I'm disappointed with myself. Or I felt that I cut corners to get something done. I'll get upset with myself for doing that. So I tend not to do that anymore, which is why a lot of things take me a long time to get done, because I don't want something done just to be done. I mean, I still haven't hung any pictures or shelves in this room because every time I go through what I'm going to hang up, I just don't like it. And it's like I can't just put it on the wall so that I have a different background. I got to wait until I get it to exactly where I want it, and then I'll set it all up, and then that's it. It'll be on the wall, and it'll be in the screenshot when it's ready. And if it's not ready, then it's not going to happen. And I treat everything like that, which is why it took me so long to get started on kettlebells, never mind the fact that I was completely idiotic and thinking that I couldn't do it, or if I did it too quickly, I was going to hurt myself. Well, there's one way to fix that. Don't do it too quickly. You know, I did have to learn a few of the exercises, but now I got those down, and now I feel more comfortable doing Different exercises, because now I feel like my form is better, and I've I've gotten some nice back strength. So there's a few things that I was like, I don't think I can do. Now I think I can do those things. So now I just got to try them. And this all keeps me motivated. It all keeps me motivated to go forward. You know, every time I got a stripe and then a new belt, that's motivation. That's where I get it from. That is my self-motivation. All of that is from myself. So when people talk about where do you get your self-motivation from? It's from everything I do. And I put it all into one big lump sum because it all takes self-motivation to do anything, all of it. I have to self-motivate myself to sit down here and talk into a camera for an hour. I don't always want to do this, but I know that if I want to get better at doing this, and if I want this podcast to grow, then I need to sit down, and I need to do this, and I have to have good subject matter, and I have to speak clearly. Clearly. Oh, there you go. See? Gotta work on it, right? You know? Everybody that I listen to that does podcasts, they have, hundreds, if not thousands, maybe millions of hours of talking. And I started less than a year ago. So I got a lot of work to do. So I have to stay motivated for it. And I'll be honest with you, I'm online, I'm checking subscribers, I'm checking the likes, I'm doing all this stuff, and sometimes you see negative things, you don't see any traction, and it's discouraging and disappointing. But you have to learn to push through and just keep plowing, keep doing it. And that's what I'm doing. I just keep plowing, I keep doing it. There's been many times where I wasn't going to, and I thought about like ending this and being like, I tried something else and it failed again. And then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? The only reason things don't ever go anywhere with me is because that's what always happens. I get discouraged, I get upset, and I give up. And I go, oh, this isn't going anywhere. But this means a lot more to me than a lot of the other things that I've tried throughout my life. You know, I've already said that this is like therapy for me. And it's not far from the truth. It really is. This is what helped me get out of my funk, last March. And I can't believe we're already a year through this, and almost a year through this. And yeah, I think my prediction was pretty good for 2022. You know, I'm feeling very confident. I wish I had gambled on it or something, placed a bet. You probably can, right? Could probably go to I don't know, one of those fucking gambling websites, and I bet you they got a thing. Do you think 2021 will be the year we're out of this? And I bet you can bet against it, and I probably should. But that's everything. That's where I get my self-motivation from. It's from doing everything and feeling that feeling of disappointment in myself drives me to keep going and keep doing things. And even though I get discouraged, or a 19-year-old taps me out, or I'm not feeling quite up to par to sit in front of a microphone and talk, or I don't want to run on the treadmill, I'd rather lay on the couch with my dog, any of that stuff pops up, I always go right back to where I need to be, which is, if you don't do this, are you going to be disappointed in yourself? And the answer is yes. And that is what motivates me to do everything I do. So if you want to know where my self-motivation comes from, it comes from that. I do not want to feel disappointed in myself. At this point in time, there's not too many people I can disappoint. If anything, I've showed most of the people that know me personally that I have picked myself up. I mean, they may not quite be with me 100% right now. They might be waiting for that foot to drop, which I don't blame them, because if you've been fucking up for 27 years and you're barely 4.5 years in, they're like, well, you got to show us some more work. And I understand that, and I don't hold that against them, but that also drives me because I want to show all those people that I did it. I could do it. And I just have to stay positive in my mind. Don't allow setbacks. Don't allow people's comments and other bullshit to get in my way and create bullshit for me. And this is what I do. This is it. That's how I self-motivate. That's how I keep going strong. And then, of course, I use social media, this podcast, and everything else to hold myself accountable for the things that I say and the things that I say I'm going to do. And if I say I'm doing something, then I'm doing it. If I say I'm going to do something, doesn't always happen in the timely window I would like it to, but it happens. So I always stick to my word. I always get my shit done. And now I'm basically just trying to prove this to everybody else, because I know I'm far enough along where this is going to be, alcohol is less of an issue for me now. Like I've said in past podcasts, I feel much more free from it. It's not always the thought on my brain. There are certain things that trigger it, a little bit heavier. They trigger it. It's a little bit heavier feeling, than other times. But I feel really good, and now I've just gotta keep it going, and then a couple more years, maybe 5.5 is my thought. That's when everybody else will kind of get on board. They'll be like, wow, all right, he's really doing it now. They're going to need to see the work. They can't, when I first stopped drinking, I was like a year in, and I was so excited. And my friend looked at me and he goes, dude, I'm going to tell you right now, you cannot really say much of anything until you're at least 10 years deep. And I got upset. I got angry. I was very upset with him. And I'm like, I don't understand what you're talking about. I'm doing this. And he's like, yeah, but you got so much that happened. You can't expect almost anybody after a year of you not drinking to be like, oh, he did it. And in my brain, I was like, yes, I can. And now I realize, no, I couldn't, and I can't. There are going to be people that accept it with a short time span, and there's going to be people that are not going to accept it. And I just have to accept that it's not always going to turn out the way I want it to. It's just like when you go through the 12 steps. You get to that one where you have to write apology notes and all this other shit. The one thing that they warn you about when you get to this stage in your sobriety is that people are going to probably turn you away. Probably tell you, no, I don't accept your apology. And you have to be accepting of that. And that's what I'm going through right now. I'm accepting the fact that there are people out there that still doubt whether or not I can keep this up. And again, that is another piece of motivation for me, because if there's anything I enjoy doing more than any of this, is proving people wrong. That makes me feel amazing. That's the reason I graduated high school. It's the reason I've gotten a lot of things done. Graduating high school being the biggest one. Unfortunately, I've had the motivation to prove people wrong with the drinking situation a couple times, and unfortunately, they were right. So I'm still using it as a key, as a tool of motivation. It's just not the biggest motivator for me, but I do love proving people wrong, and when I get there, I'll see what they say then. They could still be like, nah, I still don't believe you, or, I still don't accept your apology type of situation. But that's okay, because I will have, if we're there, then I've made it 10 years, and that is amazing to me. So even though small strides, I'm not counting days anymore. I count months mostly, and then always checking off the years that pass. But that's it. That's where I get my self-motivation from. It's a long, long laundry list of shit that I'm sick of looking at, and I never want to fall back on to. So that's where I get it. I hope that helps clarify a few things for people, and maybe that'll give you some self-motivation, because that's whatever you got going on, that's what you need to motivate you. And you can only find it within, So I want to motivate people to stay off of alcohol. I want to motivate people to become healthier people, but I can only do so much from this microphone and this camera. David Goggins, all these health nuts, Ben Greenfield, they're all motivating characters, but when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, you're the only person that's going to get you going. They're not calling you and telling you, hey, did you do this today? That's going to be on you. So I say use all of your negative feeling, your disappointment, use all of that for fuel to motivate and make yourself feel better. And when you start pushing that needle, and you start seeing the change, and you start feeling better, I think you'll get more. If you're anything like me, I'm a highly addictive person, highly addictive. And as soon as something starts making me feel good, I have to keep doing it, because I like feeling good. That's why I got high all the time. It's why I fucking got fucked up all the time, right? I like being fucked up. I like feeling that way. Well, you can get the same type of feeling from working out, and I'm getting addicted to that feeling. It feels great, and I love it so much. So it keeps me moving. It keeps me moving forward, and that really is what was important to me overall. Anything that keeps me moving forward so that I don't fall backwards is what I need to do to better myself. All right, so I got a story, and I'm going to share it with you. It kind of branches off of last week's episode, where I talked a little bit about psilocybin, mushrooms, and then I all of a sudden got this. It's weird. When I'm sitting here telling stories, all of a sudden my brain unlocks, and I start remembering more and more things that I had forgotten about, or it was there, but I wasn't I didn't need it, so it was just sitting there in the memory banks. And then all of a sudden I start talking about all my teenage years of psilocybin and acid and psychedelics in general, and then my brain went, oh my, yeah, and I just remembered another story, and I'm hoping that by telling this story I unlock more. I know they're in there, I just keep forgetting what they are, because it's been such a long time. But let's see. It was 2001, I believe. I was living with my girlfriend at our parents' house again. Same scenario. I lived there for quite a many years, and I never got to go on the vacation with them because, well, I had to pay my own way, and since I always lived like an asshole that only cared about getting fucked up, I never had any money for anything because I was too busy buying shiny new objects, toys, and drugs. So I just never had cash to do anything or go anywhere. And then So this particular year, I had to, stay at the house, and her sister's boyfriend was also there. And since I had already stayed at the house a couple years, they allowed both of us to stay there. And so I got my hand on some mushrooms, and we're all sitting there drinking in the kitchen. I've got my DJ turntables in the kitchen. I brought them up from the basement. We got the table cleared out, dining rooms cleared out, just open dance floors. We're playing music. We're drinking. He's got his friends over. I don't think there was one person from my group there. I really don't. I think it was mostly all of his friends. Mind you, her sister is probably, let's see, if I'm 21, 22 at this time, shit, he's about 17, 18. I'm pretty sure. I think our younger sister was like 5 years behind us. Something like that. Nah, it's not important. But anyways, so we're all doing this, and I got the mushrooms, and I'm like, all right, let's do some mushrooms, And there's him, me, and like 3 or 4 other people that were like in on this, and then there was like, I don't even remember how many people. So I take the mushrooms and I put them into the pot grinder, and I grind them up, right? And then I tap them out on the counter. I pour up a shot of liquor, of whatever we had, and I take these mushrooms and I dump them into the shot glass. And I've never done this before, and I've never done it after. But those things grinded up and now soaking in the alcohol, we all take the shot, and this is the fastest I've ever started tripping in my life. It was like within 20 minutes. I guess the psilocybin, I don't know if it reacted with the alcohol and then went through the bloodstream or what happened. But this party went from awesome to complete chaos in a matter of what felt to me like moments. So, we take the shots. We're sitting there. One of he was growing like habanero peppers, so everybody was checking out the plants on the porch. Excuse me. Yeah, so I was probably closer to 21 because it was probably spring or summer. Excuse me. Whew. It's cold up here. And so what I do, so now they're all checking out the hot peppers, and they're pulling them off, and a couple of people are eating them, and they're not enjoying that so much because they're habanero peppers. And I start tripping real hard, like real hard. Everything's moving. Music's distorted. I have so much anxiety because now my brain's going, there's a lot of people in this house. What if things go wrong? What if someone gets hurt? Now it's my fault. It's her parents' house. So it's all these things going on. So I freak out, and I tell him, you got to get everybody out of here. So he gathers everybody. Everybody gets gone. He gets them out, except for like 3 or 4 people that were hanging around. And I freaked out. I told them they had to leave. And then I ran into another room. I hid. I don't know what the fuck I was hiding from, but I was hiding. I was crouching. I was trying to stay away from them. And then eventually he, broke down that wall, got me to come out and talk. And then, the other guys that were there, they were like, dude, everything's good. Calm down, and everybody's gone. You can chill out. And it probably wasn't until about, 4 to 5 hours later that I finally calmed down, came back into reality a little bit and realized that it was all over nothing. Nothing had happened. Nothing went wrong. Were we having a party at the house when we shouldn't have been? Yes. That's what was happening. That's what was wrong. That's what triggered the anxiety and the bad trip. So this was just another one of my experiences where shit went south. And this was like the start of the decline. It was right there. This was probably the second or third bad trip I had, and I thought it was only because I was taking acid, so I wanted to see if mushrooms would do the same thing. Well, guess what? A hallucinogenic is a hallucinogenic, and that's it. It doesn't matter what form it comes in. It's going to do pretty much the same shit. So if you are not 100% comfortable with everything going on, that is enough to tailspin you and send you freaking out, making accusations, hiding behind couches, just completely and absolutely freaking out. And that's what it did to me. And it was just, it was crazy. It was wild. But by the end of the night, things were good. I calmed down. Everybody calmed down. And we had a good night. It did turn out to be a great evening. But, man, I've just never done that before or after. But it was definitely the fastest I've ever had mushrooms hit me. And I don't know what caused that reaction. I'm assuming it would have been the mushrooms soaking in the alcohol, and then the psilocybin getting into the alcohol, and then the alcohol getting into the blood. But, man, it was an intense, crazy body, head, visual. It was out of this world. I've never experienced anything like it since in my years of experimenting. But it was just crazy. As I was telling all those stories, I remembered this one, and yeah, I just wanted to let you know that it doesn't happen overnight. You know what I mean? Like, you could be having a grand old time with everything for quite some time. Then it turns into you're thinking you're having a good time, and then the next day everybody's like, this one kind of went sideways. And then you get to the point where shit just doesn't it's not fun anymore. It's constantly wearing on you and giving you anxiety and all kinds of shit like that. So it was just something that I experienced and I wanted to share. I want people to understand that this stuff is serious. It's not a joke. I know that it's becoming legal in more and more states, and I'm happy for that because it's a natural thing that grows out of the ground, and we shouldn't make those illegal. We should study them and figure it out and see if it helps us, and that's what they're doing, which is great. So I totally agree with all of that and all the science behind it. But when it comes down to just doing it on your own, just use caution. I think I said this last week. Just use caution. And the reason I say use caution is because you got to be careful of where this shit is coming from today. And this is all of, like, anything. You should always use caution with anything. I haven't heard anything about, marijuana or mushrooms per se. But if it's so crazy, all right? I'm gonna tell you something, and this is not my story to tell, which is why I'm not going to use any names or anything else. Slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. That's slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. I absolutely love this website, and you will too. You're looking for some good, nice, high-quality clothing with awesome prints on them, well, you coming to the right spot. This place has got everything. Let's take a run through real quick, and I'll tell you what they got. They've got Slow Down for kids. They've got hats, winter hats, and trucker hats. They've got shirts, all kinds of printed T-shirts. They've got stickers. They got 2 different styles skateboards. They've got enamel pins. They've got all kinds of women's leggings, neck gaiters, jerseys, gloves, and sweatpants. I mean, they've just got it all. And these sweatshirts and sweatpants have the embroidered emblem on them. Just really, really high quality. I don't know if you can see on the screen, but we've got all kinds of leggings to choose from. And then you've got 2 different style gloves. You've got the black and orange along with the skulls. And then, of course, they have their trucker hats along with their winter hats, and all different designed printed T-shirts. And I can tell you from personal experience that these T-shirts hold up. I put them through the wash. I wear them all the time. And the colors on the prints are holding up longer than the shirts themselves. Now, after 5 or 6 years and a couple hundred washes, the quality of a shirt can decrease. But these ones, they hold up. Even when they're at their oldest, they're still bright with color. It's amazing. I absolutely love them. And you can only get them here at slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. That's slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. You don't know how to spell it? It's right here at the bottom of the screen. naturalbossnh.com. That's naturalbossnh.com. This website, I love it. Absolutely. 100%. They have everything you're looking for to help with winter, to help with dry skin, to help with keeping COVID and flu away. That's right. They've got hand sanitizer. They got a salve that's great for dry skin, and they've got lip balm that is just amazing for those cold winter days and keeping your lips moist and not allowing them to dry or crack. It feels great. If you have a beard, then they have some beard oil. This stuff's going to work great for you. Check it out. And then if you're looking for a nice relaxing evening, or maybe you just finished shoveling, which we're all doing right now, and you need to just soak your feet because your dogs are barking at you, well then get the body and foot soak. This stuff is amazing. I'm telling you, it's going to just allow you to sit back, relax, and take some time to yourself after that long night of shoveling or that hard day of work. This stuff will help you get into that Zen mode. And you can only get it here at naturalbossnh.com. That's naturalbossnh.com. New Hampshire Vape Gallery is located at 180 Lafayette Road, down the street from Home Depot and next to Smoke Rings. We're open 7 days a week from 10:30 to 8 p.m., and you can always come in our store, provided you wear a mask. Give us a call, 603-814-4171. I've told you about, almost 46 times now, that this vape shop is amazing. We have it all. We're not your vape shop / smoke shop / gas station / convenience store / snack shop. We are just vape. That's right. That's what makes us different from everybody else. Everybody else is added vape into whatever store that they're doing to try and pick up on some money. And who blames them? This is how this works, right? You got to make money today. But we specialize in vaping, knowing vapes, being able to help people get off of cigarettes. That's the main goal of the vape shop, is to get people off of cigarettes and off of nicotine if you choose it. There's many different ways to get off of nicotine. There's vaping, there's lozenges, there's gum. But any way you get off of cigarettes is a great thing to do for yourself and your health. Don't forget, we also carry CBD. We are an official dealer of slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. And we carry multi-mats. So if you're looking for some nice mouse pads or dab mats, we've got them in store for you, and you can only get them at New Hampshire Vape Gallery. We're located at 180 Lafayette Road, Seabrook, New Hampshire, down the street from Home Depot and next to Smoke Rings. We're open 7 days a week from 10:30 to 8 p.m. And you can always come in our store provided you wear a mask. Feel free to give us a call, 603-814-4171. And now, back to talking with Topher. I know somebody. And, well, he recently died and came back to life. And I was wondering why I hadn't seen him for a little while. Actually, a couple months. And I figured it was just COVID. At the time that we spoke, him and his wife were breaking up. They weren't doing so hot. They were living in separate areas. And it was heavy for him. He was trying not to drink, but then they had their problems, so he started drinking again. About the time that we were still talking, he was just getting heavily into drinking again. I'm talking Mobile on the Run cups full of liquor, a splash of blueberry slushy, and driving around doing all just stupid shit. Stupid shit. The same stupid shit I was doing when I was going through my issues with women or work or anything else. Any issue became, I just drink. And I would drink harder and heavier when I was driving. I don't know why. I still can't figure that out today. I don't know. Something about being drunk behind the wheel is just... Well, it's amazing, and it's wrong, and I don't suggest anybody doing it, obviously. DUIs are stupid. I have 2 of them. I still have red letters on my license today. 21 years later, I still have letters on my license that tell the cops that I have DUIs. So this shit doesn't just go away. Don't do this shit, all right? Don't do anything I talk about on this podcast, please. This is advice to hopefully stop you from doing these things. So he was drinking very heavily. I was getting to the point where he was starting to make me feel uncomfortable being around him because he was literally bombed every time he came to see me. So I was like, all right, this has to kind of stop. But then I didn't have to say anything because he just disappeared. And I was like, oh, God, what happened? And I thought it was COVID. I tried texting him. He wouldn't hit me back. I guess he was just deep in it. And he wasn't coming back, according to him. So he has a friend, or he was living with a friend, and this guy comes back with some coke, right? And so he's like, hey, do you want some? And, of course, he is completely tanked, and he's just like, yeah, give it to me. So he takes a giant line of this cocaine. Well, the next thing he knows, he's being woken up by EMTs, police, everybody's there, right? The whole fucking kit and caboodle showed up to save his life. He had to be Narcammed, I think is Narcam, something like that. 8 times. 8 times he told me. He was dead for 20 minutes, which is just insane. And the reason I started this off with saying be careful of what you're getting is because he thought, and his friend thought, they had cocaine. Well, guess what? They had basically pure fentanyl. It's about the same color. They mix it in. It doesn't look any different. And now these assholes out there can take 1 ounce per se and turn it into 3 or 4. But now you die. And I was talking to another friend about this, and he was like, can you imagine if we had to do this when we were kids? We would just buy coke. We would just buy meth. And use it. There was no thought of this fentanyl being involved in it. And now it's in everything. They're putting it in coke. They're putting it in ecstasy. They're putting it in heroin. They're putting it in meth. Because it's a powder, so you can just add it in. I even heard that they were putting it in THC cartridges because these people are making a product that doesn't even get you high. So now they take a little bit of this fentanyl, put it into the hot mix, and now you're not getting weed high. You're getting fentanyl high. So they're turning people that think that they're buying a THC cartridge into a fucking heroin junkie. Or a fentanyl junkie, I guess. I don't know if I assume that this stuff is part of heroin. I'm not sure. Fentanyl could be all on its own. I don't know anything about it because, well, I don't want to know anything about it. All I know is that it's really bad for you. It's in everything, and I need to stay away from it, so that's exactly what I do. I don't really fuck around with hard drugs anymore. I kind of already did that, so I'm glad I got it out of my system. But he's right. What the fuck is going on in the world where if you're a teenager today and you get your hands on X, Y, or Z, there is a great chance that you could die. I never had to worry about that. And it kind of blew my mind that, like, yeah, you basically have to question everything today. And you probably shouldn't get too involved with much, you know? Because it's a scary, scary situation to put yourself in. First of all, nobody wants to die. I mean, if people wanted to die all the time, we wouldn't have all this anti-aging and bettering your health and keeping fit. No, that's for longevity. That's for continued growth, to be here longer. So I feel like the majority of people on the planet want to be here, want to live longer. They may want to get a little fucked up and enjoy their time here, but nobody wants to go into something with, you know, a good time and now you're dead because you just got it from the wrong person. And there's no real way to, I don't know, maybe there is. You can get like a home test and maybe actually test the drugs to see if there is a way, just test the drugs to see if they're poisonous. You know, see if what you just bought is actually what you just bought. But he really opened my eyes to the fact that you out there, you out there, under the age of 18, under the age of 25, under the age of 30, you've got a lot of shit you need to figure out because things are not the way they were when I was a kid. So when he said this, it really sat with me and I was like, oh my God. You know, people, I'm sure everybody, I'm just saying something that you already know. I get that. But that's what this is for. I was like, my God, I got to get this out there. I want more people to think this way. I want more people to be under the impression that everything that they get is garbage because it most likely is. Unless you're getting it from the source or you're getting it from a reliable person. But if you are just a teenager in, like, say, a college town or something, and you're not familiar with the area and you don't know anybody, that's probably the worst position to be in because now people can just take advantage of people. And these people that are doing this to those drugs do not give a shit about human life. They just don't. They wouldn't put it in the product if they cared. The only thing they care about is that dollar amount. And that is so scary because now you're just a profit number to them. So it really scared me when he told me this story, because they both went into this. I mean, his friend brought it in and was like, yeah, I got Coke. And he's like, cool, I love this. You know what I mean? Like, who doesn't love a little Coke? You know? I'm not against it. But I'll be damned if I'm going to die from it. So I'm glad he didn't die. I'm glad he's still with us. We've been catching up a little bit. He's 5 months off of alcohol right now, which is great. I'm trying to keep that encouragement going, keep him away from it. I guess him and his wife are doing better, which is super important for his stability and, of course, the kids. So he's got a lot going on. And his world almost got completely shut off because somebody wanted to make a buck off of his friend. So really scary way to find out what you got is not what you got. So I think we need to come up with a better solution to that. If there's already one out there, email me. Tell me. Send it in. Send me a link. These are things I don't know. I probably won't research it because it's not something I'm into. I'm not like going out there and going to buy some Coke and test it, so I have no reason to do this. But if you have a reason to do it and you found them, send it over to me. I want to check it out. All right, so let's get in. Let's talk about it. That's my thing. But yeah, so really scary to find out. And then with the kids today coming up, that's really scary that they're gonna. That sucks, man. I just kept thinking about that. I was like, my God, imagine if I did have to do what all you kids out there have to do today. And I call anybody under the age of 25 a kid. Let's be clear about that. Just because I call you a kid doesn't mean you are a kid. But under 25, well, your insurance, that's like the last thing. That's it. So when you turn 21, you get to drink, you get to smoke, you get to smoke pot. All those things are cool. They're unlocked. But the very last thing that you get to look forward to is when you turn 25. And your insurance now goes down because for some reason now you're considered a safe driver after 9 years of supposedly being on the road. So anybody under the age of 25 is a kid to me. So I just wanted to clarify that. I know I say it a lot. It's probably annoying. And everybody's like, I don't understand what he's talking about. I'm not a kid. Well, you are to me. Got a lot of growing, a lot of learning to do. Some of you out there, you make me look like the kid, and that's okay too. I know it's not everybody. I guess I am grouping everybody into one big lump, but it's not on purpose. It's just to move through the podcast. So I wanted to keep it fun and light, and for some reason, I always end on a very dark note. Well, we did have a very good class today. We had our Professor Raphael was up from Florida, and 3 of my professors got stripes today. And let me tell you, it is really cool to see your uppers, especially your professors, get promotions. It's very inspiring because even though I believe they don't look forward. It's not that they don't look forward to it anymore. They're not thinking about it anymore. They've gotten to a stage in their martial arts or their jiu-jitsu that I feel they're just like, this is what I love doing, obviously, because they wouldn't be professors if they weren't. But for us as students to see them getting their stripes from their professor is just awesome. It was very, very inspirational. It was a really good day, and Professor Raphael really, that guy has got so much energy. So much energy, and he teaches class extremely fast. It's pretty cool. It was like class fast forward today. It was pretty cool, and I had some good matches, and it was giant. It was really cool to see class normal again. We didn't run around and stuff like that like we do for our warm-ups. We stayed in one spot, but there was 30 people, and it was a very special moment, and I love when that stuff happens. I love when I'm there for that, and it excites me, and again, with the motivation, it motivates me to keep coming back, and keep pushing forward, and to keep everything going the way that it is. All my outcomes now are way more positive. My God, I actually got an apology the other day because, well, my boss thought that I did something wrong, but then he realized it was the phone that can no longer be updated. So it was the issue, not what I had done was the issue. And I actually got an apology. Now, if you're in the same shoes I'm in, where apologies and stuff like that are always given and never received, you can understand how awkward this was for me. Because this doesn't happen that often, where I get upset about something and then the other person gets upset with it, but the other person was upset for the wrong reasons, and I get the apology. So it was an eye-opener. Just like I got told recently that I need to keep doing what I'm doing because I'm going in the right direction, and I as much as I probably tell myself I don't need any of that, all I need is what I'm doing. I need it. I need it so much. It's so good to hear. It is so good to hear. When you have been working so hard on fixing things, getting better, and then people start recognizing it and acknowledging it, it is an amazing feeling. And again, another thing for me to put in my pocket for motivation. But yeah, so this is it. You know what I mean? This is it. I'm just going to keep coming back. I'm going to keep doing this week after week with all of you out there who I appreciate very much. I'm going to keep doing my workouts, keep moving forward, because every guy that taps me, that's under me in rank, motivates me to get back on those mats and get better. And that's what I'm going to keep doing. I'm going to do it for the podcast, I'm going to do it for jiu-jitsu, and I'm going to do it for my everyday life, and I think you should too. And of course, if you're younger out there and you're experimenting, just be careful. But that is it. That is the podcast, everybody. I'm so happy we got to do this again. Another beautiful week, getting ready to shovel today. Yeah, that's right. Snow's coming. It's already gone. Oh my God, I didn't even talk about it. Yeah, it's friggin' the snow going across the United States and fucking up Texas and fucking up all them people on the highway. I mean, there was like, what, 100-car pileup? I don't know if it was Austin, but I do know it was Texas because, like, they're just not used to the snow. My friend was telling me that the part of Texas had like 24 inches and nobody's doing anything or going anywhere because they don't know what to do. So this one's supposed to be a pretty big doozy. They're saying right now we're going to see only 10 inches, but it's supposed to be rain, ice, sleet, snow, more rain, then more snow. So it's going to make like this giant mess. And that's what I'm getting prepared to do. I'm going to have to clean up tonight and then clean up tomorrow. And they said it's not even supposed to leave us until like 2 or 3 in the afternoon tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. And I actually, I'm going to get into it. Do you ever watch something and you're like, I am going to hate this? And then you don't. Well, that happened to me. And I've had to say this has happened a few times. Like I got a couple shows I watch that I actually do enjoy, and I'm not saying I don't. Like This Is Us and what's the other one? Like a Million Little Things, I think it's called. And I have to say, like, This Is Us, those writers know exactly what they're doing, because I'm telling you, the last couple weeks weren't really as strong as the episodes before or the season before. And then I was like, I don't think the writers are the same anymore. They're just it's not happening. And then this week's, it did it to me again. And the thing I'm talking about is when a show or a movie makes you cry. Because This Is Us always makes me cry. Except for, like I said, the last couple weeks or so, I didn't feel like their content was on point. But this week, man, it was on point, and those writers got a tear out of me. Sons of bitches. And then the other thing, when I first mentioned, was, do you ever watch something and you're like, I'm going to hate this, and then it turns out to be good? And not only does it turn out to be good, but you end up having an emotional response to the show. And when I say what it is, you're probably all going to make fun of me. But that's right, American Idol. Anybody watched the season premiere last night? It was awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think the one girl that they gave a golden ticket to was only to get ratings from, the mom worked with Trump, and then the dad did something with, they're both politic people, right? So she's a offspring of politic people. So I don't know how else to put it. I'm an idiot. Remember that. But I think, and I said it last night, I'm telling you right now that they are using, her to get ratings because of her parents. You know what I mean? It's just, it was evident. But there was a couple heartbreaking stories in there. And I don't know what it is about people who go through massive, massive hardships, but they are amazing, usually at whatever they put themselves 100% into. So, like, obviously American Idol is singing. Well, one of these girls had such a brutal mom, and the mom left and stuff like that, but her voice was absolutely amazing. Her talent was crazy. And that is what gets me. Not only did the story get me, because but I love the art. And it seems like even like painters and any type of an artist, comedians speak of this all the time. The harder their life was, the funnier they are, because the more stuff they have to work with, So I thought it was really good. There was like 2 or 3 on there yesterday, and I do have to say I did shed a tear. Their stories moved me. They were brutal stories, and then they just blow you away with the sound coming out of their mouth. And you're like, wow. One girl, I think it was the last one at the end, her dad passed away. And my God, could she sing. It was awesome. And I don't talk about TV or current events on here too much, but I do kind of want to start doing it. So this is probably my introduction to it. I'm going to probably work a little bit harder at gathering some current events and possibly putting them up on the screen and chit-chatting about them, kind of making it a segment. But right now I was just kind of loose-lipping it. But it was just awesome. And, it got me to shed a tear. And it was a really good season premiere. And, yeah, I wanted to know if anybody else felt that way. Like, you just sit down and you're like, this is going to be fucking stupid. And then by the time you're done watching it, you're like, oh, that really moved me. And, I had a completely different reaction, or I enjoyed it, But that happened to me. I'm not an American Idol fan at all. But last night's season premiere was really good. It got me to shed a couple tears. And I'm just always curious, what is it about people who have extreme hardships making like the most creative shit we get, from art to music, just the emotion put behind the singing because of all of that emotion that they're going through. You can hear it. You hear it in their voice, and it's magical. Just magical. And I wish... I need some of that. I think we all do. Right? So. Well, I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. I hope you enjoy your weekend. Hopefully the snow doesn't fuck up things for you too bad. If you are traveling in the snow, just use caution. I don't know if we're supposed to get any more this week besides this, but it's February, so it's possible. So if you're out there traveling, travel safely. Remember to subscribe. Remember to like. Remember to set those alarms in case you want to know when the new episodes upload. I appreciate it very much. Spread this thing around. Share it like baseball cards. Let everybody know. If you're enjoying it, I believe that they're going to enjoy it just as much. You can always follow me on Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. That's right. I'm on all social media. So go there, follow, check it out. And then, of course, if you have a story, you want to talk about something, let's just start some dialogue. You can do that at TALKIN with Topher at gmail.com. That's talking with Topher at gmail.com. Send that over. Put whatever you want to talk about in the subject line. But that's where you need to send that to. That's the official email of the podcast. I appreciate all of you out there. Thank you so much for all your love, your support. Let's make this thing bigger and better. And I'll talk to you later.